Hey y'all, Lisa Davis here, the Trusted Banker, and I want to welcome you back to Black and Bankable. And we are going to talk hot topics today because there's a lot going on. Buckle up, get ready, let's go. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Okay, so there has been a ton of shakeups in all different industries. Okay, the first one we're going to talk about is Trump and JD Vance are pushing back against the judiciary, the judges. Let's just say it like that, right? Our first big story is talking about the tension between Vance and Trump. You know, they're trying to get rid of our judges, right? They're trying to get rid of the judges. They're saying since Trump took office, there have been 50 lawsuits filed against the administration. And now the White House is pushing back against the claim that they're pushing back and they're claiming judicial oversight. I for one, am happy with the division in jobs of each branch of government because we need some kind of oversight over these people that are just running amok in this country. Observers say this conflict could fuel further legal confrontations as policy battles continue. So the thing that everybody is saying to watch out for is the dismantling of the Constitution. So we're going to see, because it's almost like Trump is trying to test his boundaries, just like a child. You know how a child tests their boundaries? Well, Trump is trying to test his boundaries. And so he's pushing back, and I believe that he's pushing back to see how far he can go and what he can do and what tools does he have in order to try to dismantle the Constitution. So I think that's what he's up for. We'll keep following it and we'll see what's going on. The next one is inflation. Prices soared. I don't know why more people are not talking about this, but prices soared in January. Gas prices, food prices, even used car prices. Many Americans are feeling the pinch and frustration is running high. President Trump's statement on this is sure to stir debate. He said, we need to be uncomfortable for a little while before we feel comfortable again. It'll get better. And when you start hearing from his people in his Trump Social or Truth Social or whatever it is, when you see these people talking on X or anywhere else, they're all saying the same thing. Again, I believe for the last 4 years they've been groomed. I believe they've been teaching them this mantra ever since he left office the first time, because they need to believe that it's going to hurt a little bit first before it feels good. And that's how he keeps them on board with him. The Supreme Court is culpable in giving this modern day Frankenstein's monster the permission to run roughshod over the USA. I agree. I agree. But I also blame our Congress people. I also blame our senators. What are the Democrats doing besides yelling and complaining, right? This is really, for one, Trump is going to push his boundaries, and he's going after everything he wants. When I see the pushback from the Democrats, because they have no power in the Senate, in the House, they're complaining. They're trying to put up acts to protect American citizens, to protect the things that he's doing. But if it doesn't get voted in, which it probably won't because they have control, what can they do? I also believe that people need to feel what they voted into office. And we have a lot of people that are now seeing the repercussions of who they put into office. We're seeing a lot of agricultural farmers complain. They're losing their federal funding. We're seeing a lot of southern states with their education departments losing federal funding. We're about to see some cuts to Medicaid if their new budget goes through, where they're trying to get rid of Medicaid. And this is really going to hurt more. It's going to hurt people in red states the most. It's going to hurt his followers, his constituents, the people that believe in him and the people that put him into office. And one thing I believe they need to start doing is naming the fact that it's not the government, it is Trump. Trump is putting all these changes into place, and they're going to feel the effects of it. And so only thing we can do is sit back and watch, because we have votes coming up. We do have votes coming up. And so we've got some empty seats that are up for election. That may help. I don't know. But again, we might have to go through some hard times so that they can see how they voted against their interests, so that next time when the vote come up again, that they will vote for what they want instead of who they believe in, because this man has lied to so many different organizations, associations, trade groups, and everything, they're going to see the repercussions of their vote. The third one I have is the Trump's 10 for 1. This one is, I thought this was so childish, but I've learned since then that he did this the first time he was in office. So the first time he was in office, he would not allow not one new regulation to come into play and be proposed unless 5 old regulations were eliminated. So this time that he's in office, he signed an executive order stipulating that no new regulations can be introduced unless 10 existing regulations are eliminated. This bold move has the regulatory agencies across the board scrambling. The Food and Drug Administration is especially concerned about how this might impact the food industry. And could this new policy open doors to a lackadaisy of standards, or is it a step towards reducing bureaucratic red tape? The debate is just heating up, but they're not understanding how this deregulation thing can impact lives. They claim they're looking to cut costs. They're claiming they're looking to find money. Musk said he found $1 billion. Trump sold the U.S. for parts to Elon Musk. I saw that video where he said, I saw that with the 5-year-old. I did. And it is almost like Trump is selling the country. It is almost like he's divvying it up and selling it to Elon Musk. It's crazy out here. And that leads me to the next one, which is Elon Musk and Doge takes aim at the agency CFPB because they have plans on deregulating the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. I talk about this all the time. And because he's got other plans that he has in the works for his company. So again, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau has been taking aim at big tech companies. Before they got dismantled, they were really putting forward some regulation at the end of last year and the beginning of this year around big tech companies over potential abuses and privacy concerns. Again, these fintech companies have zero regulation and they collect American dollars on them all the time. Fintech companies, again, are all companies that you can attach a bank account or a credit card to, and they can zoop money out of your account for whatever purposes you deem necessary. But again, remember, there's no regulation over these organizations, over these companies. And Elon Musk is trying to open up his own fintech company, meaning that X Money will be his new fintech platform. So he's expressed enthusiasm for no regulation over fintech companies. And critics warn this could leave consumers very vulnerable. It's definitely something we're going to keep watching. I have told you already, if you've got your credit cards, if you've got your bank accounts connected, synced in with any of these apps or any of these type of systems, to take your credit cards off, because you don't want your money, or put a low level credit card on there, because you don't want your money to be at risk. You don't want your bank accounts to be at risk. You don't want to spend money you don't want to spend. So lock down your credit and all of that, because it's going to get rough out here with the deregulation. Regulations were put in place to protect consumers. Rich people don't understand this. Rich people just don't get it. They have never had to worry about living check to check and then somebody coming in and deciding to change a policy and charging you based on some kind of app that you have, that they're going to start taking small amounts of money out of your account every single month. They've not had to worry about that. Some people are not even able to buy groceries right now. The DoorDashes of the world, all these things, the Grubhubs, the Instacarts, they've made life very convenient and expensive. We were doing I have a financial literacy class that we're doing right now on Saturdays, and one of the ladies said that she finally did her money tracker, because we do a lot around budgeting and tracking your money and understanding how money works and how you should use your budget in order to make sure that you're stable in your life. And she found out she spent $1,300 just on DoorDash last month. And when we did the numbers, that comes out to about $50 a day. $50 a day isn't even more than maybe one meal after the fees, the tips, the charges. So $50 a day on DoorDash is probably one meal. So if you think about how often people eat, that's $1,300 is only covering a little bit of what you could consume. Grocery shopping is the best thing to do, especially right now. $1,300, it just sneaks up on you. And when we're not paying attention to money, the way that they have got these systems set up where we don't see cash money anymore, it's really hard to understand how to budget or to feel the pressure of how your money is just leaving on insignificant things when you don't see it coming in and you don't see it going out. It's just kind of hard, but that's how they're setting it up and that's how they're getting people. So that's what I believe. So they have hired, while Elon Musk is dismantling the CFPB, they have hired a director to the CFPB, and this person used to work with the FDIC. So in the midst of the CFPB showdown, the agency's former director is sounding the alarm, claiming the Trump administration's push to close the CFPB could pave the way for a financial crisis. And so it looks like they have hired a director and so Voight, the author of Project 2025, is no longer the director of the CFPB. They have hired a former, I don't know if he's a former director of the FDIC, but they've hired somebody to manage the CFPB while they've got the lawsuits going on. The union, again, is now suing the Trump administration for the way that they stopped them from working and saying that it wasn't fair, and going into the employees directory and pulling up information about these people. So we're going to continue to watch that one as well. And then this one, he named the new director of the CFPB ahead of today. I think he did this today. So I believe he did that today. And then the FDIC and the OCC, the White House is again looking at folding the FDIC into the Treasury and merging the OCC, which is the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, and the FDIC into the Treasury, into one regulatory agency. So if that happens, they will have weakened and dismantled the CFPB. They will have merged the FDIC and the OCC. They will only have the Federal Reserve and the National Credit Unions Association as regulatory agencies over the financial industry. And when I say the banks are clicking their heels and jumping for joy, it's just interesting because the regulatory oversight is so needed. It's so needed. And behind the scenes, the Trump administration officials are discussing plans to integrate these bank regulatory agencies and to downsize government officials that are in position. And they're all saying it's due to government overspending. They want to get the budget under control. They want to find extra dollars. So, it's a lot to absorb. It's a lot to think about. It's a lot going on. I want to play this video for you. This video is from a former government employee that puts a little bit of a question mark over the fact that, everybody keeps asking, why are they trying to cut costs? Why are they trying to find extra dollars? What do they want these extra dollars to do? And this person raised, I don't know if you guys have seen this video or not already, but it raises some good concerns around why they may be trying to do. You said they're robber barons, plain and simple. Yep. It's crazy. So is this the one?
Office. This is all stuff they don't have a plan for. This is stuff written so poorly, just single-handedly, to thin out personnel and to disrupt the workforce. If everyone's trying to cheer on, for example, DEI, it's bad. No, it's not DEI, it's DEIA. But everyone tries to fit a narrative. Do you know what the A stands for? Accessibility. Do you know what one of the repercussions of that executive order is? It is pulling down any document, any web page or anything with any of those 4 words on it. That's a part of it. It's not just any sort of external hiring path or anything like that. No. It's literally if a form or document that is open to the public and stuff, or internal, literal policy manuals, for example, has the words diversity or equity or inclusion or accessibility, those sections have to be pulled down, revised, and can only be put up after manual review and legal review. I'm not even joking. Do you know what has a lot of those words in it? Tax forms. Do you know what's happening in this season? Taxes. That's right. That's not even just that. The back to work stuff, it is single-handedly not because of productivity. No. Productivity shot up when we had telework and remote work. It's actually dropping, and it's a problem. They don't have the physical space for the staff to return to the office. They are trying to force people and reassign people to different field offices. They don't have the space. There was no plan before these executive orders went into effect. I'm watching it. I'm dealing with it. Then on top of that, getting rid of remote work, getting rid of telework and everything like that, they are trying to have people resign so that they can get rid of government positions. And what is the end goal, you might ask? Because they're also firing all of the new hires. Not every single one yet. Anyone that got a job offer, they've already rescinded that. Today was the day that they referred probationary employees, which is like your first, depending on what position you have, it's either your first year in the position or 2 years if you're like an attorney, for an example. They just referred all of those positions of new hires to their lead agency, which is then going to give that data to the OPM, Office of Personnel Management. And they are basically going to decide who is going to get clipped. Maybe nobody, but probably more people, including possibly myself. And what is all this for, you might ask? What is saving all this money for? You want to know what it's for? You want to know what shredding the government is for? It is because our politicians, specifically Trump, Elon Musk, Doge, but Republicans as a whole, are gearing up to give another round of tax cuts to corporations and the ultra wealthy. And they can't do it on the current proposal because we are now at a point where corporations and the ultra wealthy are paying so little in taxes, and a good portion of them are already paying absolutely nothing in taxes and are instead getting refunds literally out of our pockets. We might as well just say, Amazon, I gotta pay Amazon $1,000 for nothing in return. Literally, that is what's happening right now. It is so egregious that they are trying to not cut the Pentagon, not cut defense spending. They are cutting the literal fabric of our government. And social services, Medicaid is on the block. Like, these programs, it's going to be felt throughout the country. It is. It doesn't matter if it's the TSA. We've already seen ridiculous lines. It's because people have been fired. Parks, literally the amount of government, it could be sanitary, like as in like trash collection and stuff. It can be as much as, the DMV.
Aviation committees.
Passports, USPS, and like all of these government things that you don't realize on the day-to-day, our government organizations, they are all going to be affected. This is going to not only directly impact people that work in the federal government, but everybody in the country. You think voting was bad before. Oh my God, dude. And I get mad because like this is the flexing of executive power, and yet the last administration, it's frustrating to watch people not do anything when they're in positions of power. And this is a perfect example of what it looks like to flex that power, but for all the wrong reasons and in all the most horrific ways. And that sucks. I hope you enjoyed watching my face change different colors from the TV.
Well, that was incredible.
So he's saying that because the wealthy and the rich are not going to be paying taxes, basically they have to balance out the budget and they have to find monies to pay for the budget that he just put forward, which I haven't had a chance to read yet. I don't know for sure if they made it public, but I did see a lot of comments on it, and Medicaid was definitely on to cut. Medicaid was definitely in the budget to defund. He needs to have money to pay for his budget. And if there's not enough tax dollars to pay for the budget, he's finding the dollars to pay for the budget in all of the cuts he's making to the government. And so that's what he's going to use this money for. That's why they're looking to downsize government. That's why they're looking to cut all those programs. That's why they're looking at deregulating and firing people in these regulatory agencies and merging organizations that have all these budgets. You know, the CFPB had a $700 million budget. Well, they don't want to use that for the CFPB anymore. So they're finding ways to pull monies out of budgetary costs that were assigned to these organizations that help everyday people, because they are going to give a big tax break to billionaires, and billionaires will not be paying into the government. We will be in the extra dollars that they find. And so I just think it's crazy. I mean, we're going to keep watching it. I'm going to keep talking about it. All the things that bother your bottom, everything that bothers your dollar, I'm over here talking about it. So I do like this idea that Lily Shade said. I think I might file an extension too. It might be, well, my tax guy is good though, but let me see what he comes up with. But I might file an extension too. It's almost like if the American people could come together and understand, right, that if we stop paying for things, if we don't file our, I know it sounds crazy, but what's crazy? What sounds crazy as far as what's going on at the White House? You got to match crazy with crazy sometimes, right? You just got to. That's how I see it anyway. Yeah, and I see we're going to be a hellhole like Russia. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't understand why people don't see what's going on. We're going to keep watching it. I like the idea of delaying my tax return. But if the American people, if everybody decided not to pay their taxes, if everybody decided to just be cash and carry, because they make so much money on digital money. There's so much money. There's fees everywhere in digital money. When I mean digital money, I mean using your debit card to pay at the gas pump, using your debit card or your credit card to pay for groceries and everywhere you shop. Everybody gets a fee in that transaction between the bank that gave the money, your bank that has the money, the bank that charged the money, the machine that swipes the money. Like there's our dollars, no. Our products have gone up because of all the fees embedded into digital spending. And so if people would go back to cash and carry and not pay their taxes and not fund the government and let them figure out how to fund themselves while they're running up there and going amok and letting him do whatever he wants to do, I think that's how they're going to hear. That's what they're going to feel. You know, the same way Target felt the dollars when people boycotted Target and the shareholders said, hey, we're not doing this thing, put it back like it was. We have to defund the government. And the only way to defund the government is to not pay your taxes and to pay with cash. I don't see any other way. But it would take a lot of people to come together to do that. But that's just my idea. That's just my idea. I don't get how the GOP is sitting so quiet. I just don't get how they're sitting so quiet. I guess it's gonna they're gonna get their pockets are gonna get a windfall as well. I don't know. But we got to keep watching it. You got to keep our money close to us. We got to cash some money, put some money at the house, and see what's going on. Keep watching it. So I will be talking to you guys, and we're going to talk about different kind of fraud and these scams that are out here. I'm going to put something out tomorrow, like the 5 things you need to watch for the 5 different. There's like 5 major scams going on. 5 major scams, how they're scamming you out of your money. And so I'm going to put that up tomorrow. So if you're interested, you can watch that tomorrow. It'll be up tomorrow. I've been working on that since yesterday. Because as our money is getting more important, as things are getting more expensive, there's more scammers out here trying to figure out ways to get your money and get it from you. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow. So my name is Lisa Davis. I am the Trusted Banker, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.